Hello guys, my name is Tasin and welcome to my first ever tutorial. I'm going to show you how to access an external database on an Android app using JSON and PHP script. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to need an external database. I have one database on my web server, which is a local host server. I need a desired PHP scripts on web server. Desired means the query or the script, what the script returns is up to you. Either you want all data or you want to use some of the data, it's up to you. And I need an Android app, so I'm gonna start this making Android app. So go to Eclipse, make new project, Android project. I'm calling it test external database. I like long names. Use the latest one, and my package name is this. So created a new, okay, it's not this one. So it created a new one. Before that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in a layout and change something. I'm gonna delete this. I don't like this. I'm gonna add a new text view. I'm gonna name it result. Okay, find the result. I'll make it as a public, so I can access it in different methods. Sorry about my English. Find it. I'm gonna call it result view. You find the view by ID or .id dot result. And of course, you need to import text view and cost. So far so good. Before I proceed, I'm going to show you my database on the local host. The name is test database, and this is a customer table in it, and it has some few entries in it. The other thing I'm going to show is I'm going to show you the scripts on it. So this is the script I'm using. It connects to the database. It connects to the test database. Gets all the data from the customer table and prints the JSON encoded code. So when we visit this page, it will give us this JSON encoded data. So I'm going to show you how that is. I'm going to show you what it is. So when you go to the script, this is what you get. It gets you all the data from the database and prints it in a JSON encoded form. Actually, JSON object is the one enclosed by curly brackets and separated by commas. The elements are separated with commas. This is a column name and this is the value in the column. Okay. For this, to save the time, what I'm gonna do is I'll show you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new method. I'll call this a get data. It's a void because it doesn't return anything, doesn't have any arguments. I'm gonna paste all that things here. To show you what I am doing is, well, I'm gonna copy paste all the code and then I will iterate through it. But the summary, I'm gonna show you the summary what that data it does is I will use a HTTP client and I will make it to execute a HTTP post. This HTTP post is nothing, it's just an address of that PHP script on your server. It gets the response, and that response is the string I showed you on the browser, and it will convert that response into a string. Actually, it's a response object, so response object is converted into a string using the input stream reader and a string builder. And I will make the JSON array from that string because it's already formatted in that way, and I will get the desired value after that. So let's pause the tutorial and I'll come back. Okay. So I made a result string. It's empty string. In this string I will use the string buffer reader to get a string. Basically it's the input stream I'm putting as a null. Made an HTTP client. It's the default HTTP client. Made an HTTP post. This is the address you want to give. This is the address of a PHP script on the server. I'll get a response which is at a JSON formatted string, and I'm passing it to the I'm getting an entity. I'm storing that response get entity into entity, and basically put that equal to the input stream. I'm using try catch, so if you couldn't connect to the PHP, or if there is something wrong with the response, it's just gonna give you this error. I'm also setting the text of a result view as couldn't connect to the database. The reason I'm using the try catch is even if I did something wrong, the app will never crash. It's gonna show you something, so it's a very good procedure. Now once I got the response, I will use a buffer reader and convert that into the string. This is always the same, remains always the same, so I usually copy paste it all the time. Next is I'm parsing the string into a JSON.dal. So I'm getting it. This is an empty string. I'm making an empty string. I'm getting a JSON array from the string, from this string, because this string is in this format, so it will make an array. I will iterate through this array. I will get the JSON object using this one, and then I could have used the array adapters and common array or array list, and then made an adapter for that, and then put that in a list view. So but for the simplicity, I'm making a string which is formatted in a way that it contains all the data from the database and prints well, actually it's set. This string is, you just print that in a text view, which is I'm doing here. I'm setting this I'm setting the text of this text view as this string. So far so good. Before we proceed, we have to do something in the Android manifest, and I'm sure you know that. We are giving it a permission to use the internet, because it has to use the internet to get that response, or to use the HTTP. So once this is done, when we gonna run this, it won't work. Well, before we run it, we have to give it. So I'll show you it won't run, and I will show you why.
It's 22 hours.
See, it says couldn't connect to database. Why? This is all right, I know it. So that's why I put the try catch blocks. It says error in HTTP connection, Android.os network on main thread exception. Now, for some reason, in the latest Android 4.03, you can't put the HTTP request on the main thread. I don't know reason why. Maybe for some reason there must be. So in order to use this code, what we have to do is enable the strict mode. So I'm gonna use that. This will enable the strict mode and will run this HTTP request on the main thread. And let's run it again. Oh, sorry about that. There you go. You got all the data from the database into the string. Thanks for watching this one, and please subscribe.